So as the title says, this is weapons to bring to Root of Nightmares. And so for the first encounter, which is this encounter, there's two roles, as you know, runner and tormentor duty. Now, for the runner, I recommend running an eager edge sword for mobility, um, which is in my opinion is a must-have. And if you don't have it, that's also fine. Like you can run any normal sword uh, or a machine gun, but I would recommend the runner always to have eager edge for speed. Now you can run eager edge, you can run a machine gun. Like I said, eager edge display. Trace, just because you have more ammo. Now let's say you don't have a trace, then you can run an auto rifle because auto rifle has a lot of bullets as well, or you can just do an SMG, and that's from like the perspective of a runner. Now you can also do here SMG auto. The way I do it, the most optimal is really Forerunner for Tormentor duty if I'm gonna help them after I did my running, so I can go and help them. This works great while I also have this. So Forerunner for Tormentor helping, and then Anti-Barrier helping after I've done my notes, and then the trace to run, and then eager edge for mobility. Now this is the most optimal for running. You do have other options though. Like I said, you can run SMG, auto, uh, damn, even hand cannon, like it can work. So so that's that when it comes to the running. There's not really many options. It's either you're running this. You can also run Arbalest to assist with the barriers and then Tormentor duty. You can also run Conditional if you are lucky for the weapon that it dropped to you. Also, you can run Succession. I think Succession, I think one shots the Tormentor crits. If not, then it's either one or two. You can also run Wish Ender. Don't recommend it, but you know, it's there. Shotgun, Sniper, Fusion, and that's for how to deal with the Tormentors. When it comes to the primary slot, the secondary slot you can run Fourth Horseman. Very weird to use. I use it a lot, but very weird to use. You can also run Ariana's Vow. I think it two taps the crit. And then you can also run Fusion. Like I said, I don't have Fusion here, but you can run Fusion. You can also provide support like Div. You can, after you break the shoulders with your teammates, like you broke the shoulders, you can assist them by diving. And then what they need to do when a div is active is to do this. They can sword the Tormentor. I don't recommend it, but optional. Machine gun, it will delete him, whether you have normal machine gun or exotic like Thunderlord, up to you. Linears do phenomenal, especially with div active. Div active and linear, you're gonna delete him. Now, the thing is, this is with div, of course, the linear machine gun, and then even rockets or grenade launchers. This is with div. But the thing is, let's say div is not in the field, which is fine. So linears will do great. Machine gun will do great. These are the best tools for dealing with the tormentors. There's also Izanagi's birthing. I don't have it on me right now, but you can also do Izanagi's birthing, especially if div is active. You're gonna delete him with Hand Edge times 4, and that's really for the first encounter. Uh, Linears, machine guns are your best tool. Most people should have access to these things. And then for the secondary slot as an add clear weapon, or not talking about the running, you can run hand cannon, you can run SMG, uh, go crazy. You got Sunshot as well. There's many options. Fusion, if you actually want to deal with the barriers, you can run Forerunner, Arbalest, you can run Wishender, Conditional. That's up to you. Now, if you don't want to, that's fine. You're entitled to that. And that's for the first encounter weapons. As for the second encounter weapons, as a runner, because there is runners and defenders, nothing really changes when it comes to the runner. You can run the same thing as the first encounter. If you don't have Forerunner, you could do Conditional. Don't have Conditional, you can do Arbalest. If you don't have a trace, you can run SMG, Auto, even hand cannon. I don't recommend hand cannon just because you don't get a lot of bullets, but you can if you want to. And then sword for mobility. Everybody should have a sword. And that's for the running on the second encounter. For add clear, keep the sword or a machine gun. These are the best two. Sword, machine gun. And then for secondary slot, you can do forbearance. You could do sunshot. You could do even a trace. I don't recommend it because ammo efficiency. You could run funnel web, hand cannon, normal hand cannon, honestly anything. And arbalist, I think anti-barrier. It's if you don't know how to handle these barriers really quick, like if you don't have the access to like wall of radiance to get that anti-barrier effect under the radiant effect, or like you got your knife or suspension, arbalist is great. Witch hunter is also great. Forerunner is great. These are all a good option. Conditional. Another thing that a lot of people don't know about, except very few, is that actually fourth horseman, if the anti-barrier is a full health and you get close to him and close and personal and you use a full mag, these 5 shots, these 5 bullets, it will kill him instantly in that 2 seconds. 1.5, 1.3 seconds fast. So that's for the second encounter. Now for third encounter, I recommend using Sunshot for ad clear. And then you can do grenade launchers just because they're in a great place. And then you can run Riptide, for example, or any fusion. Fusion for killing the majors, whether it's the Colossus to get planetary shift or just the normal ad clear. And then to proc bait and switch, you could do Riptide, Sunshot, grenade launcher for bait and switch, or any grenade launcher really, whether you have a god roll or not. That's option 1. Okay, option 2, we can do rockets and keep in the same thing. And then obviously if we're gonna do rockets, then therefore we need obviously we need Gallahorn. So you can do Gallahorn if you're support. If you're playing support, do Gallahorn. Normal ad clear weapon, whether it's hand cannon, a scout, pulse, whatever really. And then fusion. Keep the fusions for sure. If you don't want to do fusion, you can do sniper or a shotgun. Preferably fusion. This is a good build if you're gonna do rockets as a support. Now this is support number 1. This is support number 2. Do tractor cannon, and you can keep the same thing, just like that. So support tractor cannon for 30% debuff, and then Wolfpack to increase the damage of the rockets. Now if you don't want to do all of that, just simply put a grenade launcher, and then you'll have access to Sunshot. If you don't have access to Sunshot, any weapon will do just fine. SMG, hand cannon, even a trace. Fusion, keep the fusion. I think in the first slot, fusion. Some people might optimize, like especially speedrunners and all that, that might optimize with Izanagi's Burden. It's a great choice. Do I recommend it for normal play to most people? Not really, just because you might mess it up. It requires a little bit of skill and aiming and all that. You can do that. You can do sniper, and you can do osteo. Let's say this is a fusion, so you can do osteo fusion. I should have pulled a fusion, but it's fine. You could do osteo fusion, grenade launcher, or rocket, and that's for the for the first boss. Now for Nezarec, if you are a runner, I would recommend running a grenade launcher, for example, if you want to, a trace, and then a fusion. That's if you are a runner. Okay, so you can do that. This is option 1. Now this is not the most optimal, but we're gonna go through options, whatever makes sense to you. So we got fusion, trace to run, grenade launcher. You don't want to do grenade launcher, you can do rockets. You can do tractors for support 1. You could do Gallahorn for support 2. It's almost like the same boss as the previous. I personally been, when I end my teaching runs and all that, we've been using Lament or any normal swords. They do well. We get a 2-phase, so I don't really push for the 1-phase just because it's teaching. People may not have access to great tools or don't have the experience. So swords like Lament or any legendary swords are fine. If things go south, we have nothing, we can run Divinity, support number 3, and then machine guns. Everybody put Thunderlord, the machine gun, go to crazy. LFG, love that. And you can have like one ad clear weapon here. Okay, now that's for the runner slash DPS. But one thing is that if you are a stunner, like you need to stun Nezarec, whether you shoot the chest or the crits to do the refuge, we go back with other options. I find Succession to be one of the best So you run succession, and then you can do one add clear weapon. And then again, if we're doing grenade launchers, support 1, support 2, or are we doing like lament, or are we doing swords in general? Swords, lament, you can do Thunderlord. Sniper is amazing here. Now let's say you don't have sniper. That's fine. You could do Arbalest. I think Arbalest would do one shot as well. We do sacrifice an exotic slot, but it's also fine. You can also do Forerunner. Forerunner, any sniper, whether it's a primary slot here or a secondary slot, it will work just fine. And